Hey beauties, good evening to you. Alright, this particular video is on a different note. I know we're on the whole budget debate, and the different, I don't even know what to call it. I don't know if I should say an anomaly, this strange but true situation. I remember there was this program that when I was younger that called Strange But True, some very unusual things that never happened before that would just happen. But anywho, this is as it relates to the rural students who are participating in our 2024 champs and finding it difficult to find somewhere to stay in Kingston for 5 days. 4 nights, 5 days, I suppose, or however long. I don't know if I want to say if it is a travesty of justice, to be honest with you. I'm not sure I would want to say this. And I know as Jamaicans, sometimes we want to put a lot of blame on the government where these things are concerned. I am not so much going to do that in this particular case. Why? Because champs is not something new. It is not a phenomenon. It is not something that just came out of the hat. It is not in its embryonic stage or phase right now. This champs has been around for decades. It has been around for a long time, I should say. It has been around for a while. It has gotten bigger and better. It has gotten more traction in terms of the world focusing on champs. It is almost like a mini Olympic in some sense, in terms of people all over the world, not just the diaspora, but people from different ethnicities, backgrounds, countries, coming to see what Jamaica's producing in our athletes. So it is something really, really magnolious. It is grandiose. But it has been around for a while. And with that being said, there is a problem that we have in Jamaica. It's systemic. Where we are very reactive as opposed to proactive. And with that reality, I think that the powers that be that governs, that manages the rural students in particular, should months in advance put plans in place, do some fundraising events, seek out sponsors, because as bad as things be, as mean as a lot of people are here in our country, we struggle with meanness. Jamaica struggle with meanness. I don't know what it is. We struggle with meanness. You can talk to Asafa Powell and other athletes. Let me interject here. I remember a few years ago they had interviewed Asafa. And he said, let me tell you, no quarrel with me because I'm not winning these major races. But you don't know some of the things I've had to go through. I've had to earn money so that I can help other athletes because they weren't getting sponsors. And we're talking, this is beyond champs, like people who would enter World Games, Olympics, and the different so-called money races like Diamond League and whatnot. They never had proper gear, places to stay, food, everything that you can think of, accommodation. And he had to run and help to contribute to them being able to participate so that they can earn $1 or $2. So can you imagine on a smaller scale, as it relates to champs? My heart goes out to the rural students. But the powers that be need to put plans in place from months in advance where they do fundraisers, get sponsors, just ways of getting money. Seek out, maybe, different politicians, parliamentarians, whoever it is, get secure enough funds that by the time they are to because they know when champs is going to be, they know at least months in advance, or I'm sure a certain number of weeks in advance when champs is going to be, so that they can make their booking. The reality is that Donkey said the world no level. Those who have it, those with the means, can stay by their family members. Certain students are able to afford staying at posh places. I mean, they probably have a better support system. You can't depend on that. If you want good nose, really and truly have to run. You can't just walk it. Have to run, go away. So, like there's no tomorrow. So, I don't want us to get into the habit that what is happening is that we're using the government as a crutch. And I say that because I noticed the question was asked on TVJ. And that was one of the responses that was posited. And, you know, while I will agree that, yes, you know, government officials can contribute, because this is something that is now certainly on the world map in terms of, you know, us being known for our champs and so on. And people are supporting and participating and coming and watching and seeing what is going on, you know. And I'm sure that this was even spawned even further with, you know, because of the very present, effervescent, talented, gifted Usain Bolt, you know, one of our ambassadors. People are now watching us. So because of that, you have to be very proactive months in advance, so that when these students are coming out, they will have, you know, even a sufficient, decent place to stay. You don't want them to have to stay at places that, I mean, I'm not going to knock anybody's place, because even the people that are running these guest houses, motels, whatnot, yeah, I guess them are somebody too. Them are try to make them live in and so forth. I'm not going to talk about whatever they support. I'm talking as it relates to the accommodation. You know, one lady, they were interviewing a lady who would accommodate them, but she was saying like she has a double bed, and if it's three of them have to go find a way for sleep cross. What is she going to do? And she's just doing her best. She doesn't have the space, but, you know, she's in the vicinity. They don't want to go too far. They want somewhere where they can just move quickly to training to warm up so that they can participate for the next few days. But plans have to be put in place. Seek out the different nearby hotels. I'm sure that once you put a good plan to them and you get sponsors months in advance, they will do their best to accommodate you, because it's champs. As bad as things be, one of the things is, if it's something that will unite us and bring us further on the map, business people, regular people will kind of join hands and hearts and minds and see how best they can facilitate it. But let me tell you something, people. We have to just bang our bellies and go for it. So the powers that be, the teachers, the administrators of schools, whomever it is that is in charge of the rural students, you have to put plans in place. Months in advance, so that by the time the students are here, you just know where to go with, you know, the different students, and you can go to somewhere affordable nearby, and the condition isn't so bad. You know, they can sleep, because they need to get good sleep. They're running. They're going to expend a lot of energy physically, so their mind and their body and their soul, it has to get good rest. You know, what a situation where they catch up on something like a double bed, and I like say a queen size or a king size, and the three of them. You can imagine the discomfort there, so. But it's, you know, is what the person said they can allow, and what they have, because you guys, you know, seem desperate to get somewhere for their children to stay. I'm so sorry that, you know, some of the, you know, the news was talking about some of the accommodation really was not so conducive. It, again, you know, this has to do with planning, proper planning. These things have to be planned months in advance. You know, the country in which you live in, you know, the support system is very tight. It's not so easy. Worse, it is not even like it's Olympics. And if the people who want the Olympics or World Games are struggling much more, just champs. Plans have to be put in place months in advance. Do whatever fundraising events, so that enough funds can be raised. You put that aside, that by the time they're to come into Kingston, you try and book as early as possible for almost a week that they would stay out for. And somewhere reasonable, somewhere nearby, fairly nearby, reasonable, you know, where they can get good sleep, good rest in terms of food and whatnot for the few days that they will be out for, you know. But, you know, so I'm saying the powers that be, you can't just say the government. We have this bad tendency to make the government like a crutch, you know, like the two things that you hold on to for everything. I'm not saying that they can't intervene, and I'm not saying that they cannot contribute, but don't depend on that. Use your hand to Tony make fashion. Help the picking them. You understand? As I said, put plans in place. Let them work towards that to teach them. So we're going to do some fundraising events. We're going to, you know, seek sponsors every which way. So by the time we get sufficient funds for them to stay at somewhere fairly decent at the very least, since it's just a week or a little less, you know. But you have to be proactive as those people who are in charge of the rural students. You have to be proactive from early out. You have to be. Guys, follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. please share this message. Thank you.